I've been noticing a common pattern of symptoms for so many people in my practice lately, and just in the world in general. Many people have been struggling with this, and they aren't just physically tired, but they're struggling with brain fog, with mental exhaustion, poor focus, emotional overwhelm. They feel overly stimulated and overwhelmed. They're having a hard time relaxing, responding effectively to stress, and they feel like their brains and bodies never get a chance to fully recover and rest before the next stressor hits. Interestingly, you would think that this is just affecting people who don't have the foundations of health in place. Yet, even my clients who are nourishing themselves well, they're doing regular movement, and they're trying to be mindful of their stress and their sensory input, they are basically prioritizing their health and they're still impacted. They seem to be doing all of the right things, but they still feel like they're missing the mark. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Sarah Labisco. I am a naturopathic and functional medicine practitioner, and I have been in clinical practice for almost 20 years. I focus on brain health, gut health, women's health, stress physiology, and mind body wellness. Over the years, I've always been passionate about helping people understand the deeper connections between the brain and the body. But more recently, I found myself spending even more time studying the interconnections between brain health, nervous system regulation, stress, overall physiology, cognitive wellness, and the impact of the chronic overload that is going on with so many people today. And honestly, the more I see clinically, the clearer it's become to me that many people have been functioning in a prolonged state of a stress response for far too long. And this is for many different reasons. So many people feel mentally exhausted because we're living in a world where the nervous system is constantly being stimulated. There's nonstop information coming at us. There's constant demands for our attention. We have digital overload. We have emotional stressors. Many people are struggling with fragmented and poor quality sleep due to the high amount of blue lights and the way that our circadian rhythm has been disrupted by just work and life and digital world in general. There is very little time for true recovery for many people. In fact, they have to schedule it in order to rest, and that can be stressful in and of itself. Over time, all of these stimuli begin to affect the brain and the body in very impactful ways. It can manifest in both physiological and psychological ways, such as in difficulty concentrating, feeling emotionally flat, having low motivation, feeling anxious, having unrefreshed sleep, or feeling exhausted all day but unable to unwind at night. And unfortunately, I think many people have normalized functioning survival mode because it has become such a common part of modern life. It doesn't help that our society rewards pushing through and basically overriding our body cues in the pursuit of success or achievement. One of the reasons I've always loved functional and naturopathic medicine is because it encourages us to step back and to look at the whole person instead of isolating symptoms into separate categories. Because the brain, or any organ for that matter, doesn't function independently from the rest of the body. Cognitive health is influenced by various factors. These include things such as inflammation, blood sugar balance, hormones, gut health, nutrient status, sleep quality, immune signaling, emotional stress, trauma, and the nervous system's ability to adapt and recover from all the changes that are going on around us. So when someone says something like, I can't focus, I feel anxious all the time, my motivation is gone, I'm exhausted, but I can't slow down, there's often a much deeper physiological story underneath these symptoms. And I think one of the biggest missing pieces right now is helping people connect those dots in a more supportive and realistic way. That's why I created the Brain Health Reset Program. It's made especially for people who are experiencing these issues. Another thing I've been reflecting on lately is how overwhelmingly wellness information has become for so many people. People are seeking answers and support, but it's hard to separate the fact from the fiction. Every day there's another protocol, another trend, another supplement recommendation, another list of things people should or shouldn't be doing. And unfortunately, that changes by the minute. And while education is important, too much disconnected information can sometimes leave people feeling even more overwhelmed and unsure about where to begin. What I've realized is that many people aren't necessarily looking for more information. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for clarity. They're looking for a framework that helps organize the bigger picture in a way that actually feels practical and sustainable. That's really where the Brain Reset program began. I wanted to create something that brought together many of the fundamental principles that I use in my practice to support the brain and nervous system of my clients in a way that felt realistic, compassionate, and grounded in both physiology and whole person healing for a broader group of people. There were also things when I thought about it that I didn't want it to be. I didn't want it to be rigid. I didn't want it to be fear driven. I didn't want it to be inaccessible. And I didn't want it based on perfectionism because balancing the brain and the nervous system would be counterproductive if we were trying to force the body to perform better using unrealistic standards. My goal was to create the conditions where the body can begin restoring balance, resilience, adaptability, and recovery over time using its innate capacity to heal. When we give the body what it needs and take away what is harming it, transformation does and can occur, and health is restored. And as these ideas in my mind began to evolve, I realized I didn't want to create this program from just a single perspective alone. That's what led me to my partner, Jennifer Pressimone. Jennifer brings such a beautiful and grounded perspective to emotional wellness, stress resilience, clinical aromatherapy, herbalism, and the deeper mind body aspect of healing. Our conversations around nervous system regulation, emotional overload, cognitive wellness, and just sustainable healing approaches aligned very naturally. And it became clear that bringing our backgrounds together could create something much more impactful, supportive, and meaningful for people. At the heart of this program is really the understanding that modern life places tremendous demands on the brain and nervous system. And while we may not be able to eliminate every stressor around us, we absolutely can support how the body responds, adapts, and recovers over time. That's truly the deeper intention behind this brain reset program. So, over the next several weeks, I'll be sharing much more about what's included inside the program and the approach. And we'll even be taking and talking about some tips that you can use immediately to support yourself right now. I'm very excited to finally bring this work into the world. It's been percolating in my mind for years now. And this conversation is something that truly resonates in mine and Jennifer's soul. And if you find that it resonates with you, you can learn more about it in the link that I provide and apply now for the program. There will be a limited number of seats available because we do want to give that one-on-one attention and support and group participation. I want to thank you for listening, and I want to send you healing and healthy blessings.